We take you to France without ever leaving the U.S. First, we hit Vegas Paris style, then South Florida for a little pistache.
We take you to a Kentucky Derby party that helps feed kids.
And some exclusive tips to avoid a legal hazard on a golf trip.
All coming up on Undercover Jetsetter.
Cheers, everyone. Welcome. We are in Paris. Actually, we're at the Paris Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, and this is a great place for food and wine.
I would absolutely agree. And we are going to take you on a visual and gastronomical tour.
All right, now Paris is one of my favorite hotels in Vegas. It offers some nice touches that you would kind of get in Paris. The registration area has a touch of the Palace at Versailles. It's a compact casino, so you're near everything, and it has lots of energy.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, and they've got a replica of the Eiffel Tower, which is very cool, and as you're pulling in, you really feel like you're pulling into someplace on the Champs-Elysees, and as you mentioned, the registration does look kind of like the Palace Versailles, and then they've got, your quintessential French artwork hanging in the different areas, and you can kind of get that whole vibe and feel of Paris. And of course there is plenty of great food. Just walking down the Le Boulevard, you see plenty of restaurants and shops, and they're all French themed. I mean, they've done a really great job. I have to mention too, the rooms here are also wonderful.
And you end up speaking really good French here as well, I've noticed, because you did Le Boulevard, wonderful. And if there is one buffet that you've got to try, it is the Paris buffet.
Yes, and you are a buffet expert, so that is really saying a lot.
Yeah, and you get the flavors of France. This is more than just Paris here. This is the flavors throughout the whole region, and it's a really good buffet. And we should also say that if you just like buffets, period, don't worry about that. The Paris buffet has a traditional fare for the traditional buffet eater, even if you don't want to go for the French food.
Yeah, and it's all the flavors of France. They've got, your fish provençal, it's your carved meats and things like that. You've got unlimited champagne, which is actually sparkling wine, but since we're in France, we'll just call it champagne. Then they have made-to-order omelets, which are very well done, a good assortment of toppings and ingredients that you can choose from there. They have, your traditional nice sausages. They also have eggs Benedict, things like that. And then, of course, made-to-order crepes, which are fabulous. This is my favorite thing.
Yeah, this was really good, and just remember, this was a Sunday brunch buffet that we went to. So at evening, they probably have some different dishes there that would also be of French cuisine. But this was a lot of fun, and it was a lot of fun watching them make it.
Absolutely, yeah, and this was a mushroom truffle with spinach, and it was very, very good. The crepes are probably my favorite thing to have on the buffet there.
And you can also get dessert crepes as well that are very sweet. We didn't have any of them because we opted for the more entree fare.
The savory crepes. And they also have a great seafood assortment, both hot and cold. Here we had an assortment of traditional French fare. We had the cassoulet, not a traditional chicken and white beans, but this was with pork and beans. There you see the Lyonnaise potatoes. And this was some great andouille sausage that was very spicy and delicious. And these were wonderful mussels sauteed in a big pot with butter and garlic. Those were very yummy as well.
And then, of course, they had the traditional desserts of France. This was a creme brulee, and nice stuff. Good stuff there.
Yeah, some eclairs and little pastries that you see there. This was a caramel sauce. If you like desserts, there's plenty to choose from.
And next we went to Mon Ami Gabi. And now if you want real authentic French food, this is the place to go.
Oh, absolutely. You really feel like you stepped into a French bistro when you are here. They have all of these great wines on the wine cart. They have that great Bloody Mary cart, which you'll see in just a little bit. And, the staff is amazing and friendly. It's a beautiful place to be inside or outside. You're right across from the Bellagio and the great fountains there, so if you want to sit outside, it's just very, very serene and fun.
And inside, you feel like you're in a little Paris cafe.
Yeah, you really do. And so we actually had some great wines there. We had the Mon Ami House White, which was really good. And we also had the Mon Ami House Red. Both are very good. And the House White is a Chardonnay grape. It was a Chablis by Louis Latour. And they make a great Chablis. And then we also had the red, which was a very beautiful blend. And we enjoyed both. Both went really well with all the food we had, and both were very affordable, to be quite honest. If you go there, get the house wines. They'll pour them off of that great cart, and they'll pour them right for you from the bottle into the glass at your table. So it's kind of fun.
And very traditional of France and Italy. The house wine is usually the best one.
It absolutely is. Yep, and that's exactly what they've done here.
Now the food, well, this was outrageous. This was fabulous.
Oh, it really was. You just can't stop eating. You want to eat more and more. We had the escargot,
Which became escargot.
very, very quickly. We had it with the delicious French baguette, which was perfectly cooked, and the escargot was just garlic and buttery and garlic and buttery. I can't say enough. And of course the parsley mixed in there made it nice and fresh too.
Luscious, sinful. Yeah, you definitely want to go back for more in this. And again, we just got appetizers and we were pretty full.
Oh yeah, and you want to use your bread to sop up that amazing sauce. This was incredible. This is a warm goat cheese with a tomato sauce. The tomato sauce was tangy. They serve it with, again, another amazing baguette, and they put that same escargot sauce, the garlic and parsley and butter, on this bread. I mean, you died and you went to food heaven with this. That goat cheese melts in your mouth. It's just so succulent and tangy, goes great with the tomato sauce, but you've got to get this if you go there.
Yeah, filling, but you didn't feel heavy.
Right. It was light. It was almost like it was whipped. The warmth of the goat cheese kind of combining with the tomato sauce and the bread, and that great layer of garlic and butter and parsley on the bread. Just great French flavors. And then you pair it with either one of those wines that we had. It's really a great flavor combination. Just absolutely delicious.
And you really understand why this is a staple for so many people when they come to Las Vegas and they want French food. This is the place they go.
Absolutely, yeah. And Mon Ami Gabi has been in the Paris Hotel since the Paris opened.
All right, then we went to Gordon Ramsay's place, and it's a steak place. And again, Gordon was outrageous. The flavors, the vibe here are fabulous. Again and again and again.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's got the Union Jack up there. It really is an invasion of British flavor. And, we got to do a little Gordon everywhere we go, every chance we get. So, he's perfect to be in the Paris Hotel as a steakhouse. He combines the British flavor just perfectly in there.
But you have to wonder if the Brits vote for Brexit, can he still stay there? I think they're going to let him stay there.
I think they'll let him stay there. I would vote yes, personally. I'm pretty sure they won't be losing out on a Gordon Ramsay restaurant, that's for sure.
We also had some of his specialty cocktails.
And this was delicious, very fresh and refreshing. It's called Farm to Shaker, and it's crafted by Amanda Cooper, who is one of the bartenders there. And they put together fresh cucumber and sage with lemon juice, Kettle One, and finish it with Saint Germain.
And this was the Rosemary Sparkler.
Yes, it really was very delicious as well. It's yuzu combined with house rosemary infused Bombay gin, rosemary syrup, grapefruit bitters, and then topped with some bubbles. So it's very refreshing and clean and delicious. We loved it.
Actually, and this was one of my favorites of the night. This was the onion soup with Welsh rarebits, or as I call it, onion soup with wabbit.
Well, it really was delicious. I mean, that broth, you could tell it had just been cooking for hours, maybe even days. It was so rich, and then the rarebits were crunchy and delicious.
And Gordon Ramsay, he does he does mac and cheese really good.
Oh, absolutely. This was so good. Again, it was a mac and cheese with truffles, but he also added peas in there, and those fresh peas really give it a clean and fresh flavor that you're not expecting, and a little different kind of a bite when you bite into the peas compared to the soft macaroni and cheese. The sauce and the cheese was just to die for.
And it was hot.
True Gordon Ramsay style.
All right, I take it back. This may be the hit of the night. This was sriracha roasted broccoli.
Oh yeah, it was so good. And we're guessing they kind of tossed the broccoli in some olive oil and sriracha. Who knows what other goodies they threw in there, but it was really tangy. It had a little heat from the sriracha, and then pièce de résistance, they put a poached egg on it, so of course we couldn't resist it. It was absolutely phenomenal.
And then he hits us with beef Wellington.
Yes, well, and that, if you are a Gordon Ramsay fan, you know this is one of his signature dishes, and it did not disappoint. We have been dying to taste this for a while now, and it's basically a filet mignon, cooked medium rare, and it's cooked inside a puff pastry. That was perfectly cooked too, and the skill in this is cooking the meat medium rare and getting the puff pastry perfectly done as well. And then there's a layer in between the meat and the puff pastry that they spread on before cooking it that is called duxelle, and it's mushrooms and mustard and a whole conglomeration of just wonderful, delicious spices and ingredients. But this was phenomenal, and as usual, Gordon Ramsay delivers one of our greatest steaks ever.
He's just showing off because the degree of difficulty of this is incredible, and he nails it every time.
And we finish things off with this very cool whiskey and wine cocktail. It's whiskey and Pinot Noir and then cherry hazelnut bitters.
And it's rare you actually find a drink where they combine hard liquor and wine, and this was superb.
Yeah, crafted by Liz Cooper, another bartender there.
So we highly recommend the Paris Hotel and Casino.
Great food. Au revoir, mon ami.
And still to come, we are going to meet some derby goers who help feed hungry kids.
Welcome back. We were recently in LA at a pre-Kentucky Derby party.
And it was less about horses and more about food.
It looked like Oscar night. Red carpet, interviews with the stars.
But it was something much more.
We're here in Hollywood, California, coming to you live from the Blessings in a Backpack Prelude Kentucky Derby Party.
This was all about the Kentucky Derby and Blessings in a Backpack.
Blessings is located in Louisville along with the Kentucky Derby.
As you can see, there are hundreds of people here. They're donors, celebrities, and a lot of people who want to feed kids.
And the Hollywood stars and dignitaries wanted to get their fill of mint juleps, big hats, and helping kids.
The stars included Willie Garson from Sex and the City and White Collar fame.
And we also heard from Sherry Lewis and her sidekick, Lamb Chop.
You know why she's wearing this? One of the Louisville stations was here, and they had met Lamb Chop before when we were in Louisville, and they made her a jockey outfit. Isn't that cute?
They didn't make you nothing.
No, they didn't. No, we love Blessings in a Backpack.
Everyone learned a lot about this program that feeds kids on weekends. Here's how we explain it. Problem in real numbers. 31 million public school kids get free or subsidized meals. That's 6 out of 10 public school children. And those are meals for kids just during the week. But what happens to these kids on the weekends? Well, they go hungry until they go back to school on Monday. That's where Blessings in a Backpack comes in. Doug Meyer, who is the co-CEO of Meyer Food Stores, was at the start of Blessings.
What if we got these kids a backpack of food every weekend? They have to be in school Friday to get the backpack. They bring the backpack back Mondays. We fill it up again the following Friday.
And it's working. And those kids aren't just surviving, they're thriving.
The children are very motivated, excited.
We saw it firsthand at the Normandy Avenue Elementary School in South Central LA. Test scores and attendance are up, and artwork is up too, while graffiti is down.
We kind of tied that directly to Blessings in the Backpack. There's some buy-in here at the school. Because a lot of the younger kids, they have older sisters and brothers that were coming here literally and tagging the school at some point. But since we've had Blessings, we've noticed that that's gone down.
Plus, the kids now have their own garden, and hold on to your broccoli. They like nutritious food.
More natural things, more fresh grown herbs and vegetables and things like that, instead of that processed canned food and stuff like that.
We're here in Southern California, but we've traveled across the country and spoken to many volunteers, and they all say Blessings in a Backpack has been a blessing in their lives as well.
I was looking for a service project for my company, for my coworkers and I. We are all live and work here, so we were looking for something to give back to the community.
It helps build relationships with people that you may not have met, people that you normally wouldn't hang out with. So you wouldn't just be helping the kids. In turn, you can help grown-ups as well.
I pick him up from school every Wednesday evening, and then we come here directly from the school and then do this and then go back.
This might have been maybe the week before Christmas. I had one girl come up and she was like, "Thank you so much for doing our blessings," and it just it really warmed my heart, because I can see the effect that it actually has, and they do appreciate, that we're doing this.
I wanted to give back. God has been really, really good to me and my 10 grandkids, so I wanted to give back. And Blessing in a Backpack is an awesome way to give back to the community.
When you give back, it feeds into something else. So just to know that on the weekend that there are kids that are going to be happy and going to have something to eat, and not sit there and wonder where their next meal is going to come from.
Even if it's just donating your time or organizing your friends and coworkers at a school near you.
People magazine loved the fact that we're a small organization with a large impact. We currently only have 8 employees nationwide. We're feeding 62,000 children with 8 employees, and that's amazing. We have a volunteer base of about 2,000.
Corporately, it's just one of the good things we do, not because we have to from a media standpoint or from an advertising standpoint or a marketing standpoint, but because it's the right thing to do.
You come out that first time, you'll come back from that time forward, because it's awesome to be able, even though it's just putting stuff in a bag, the feeling that you get is awesome.
If you're interested in working with a school near you, contact Blessings in a Backpack to get started.
And welcome back. We want you safe and secure on any trip you take, but if you're going on a golf trip and you're tipping a few, you got to be careful.
So we have some ways of helping you avoid a legal hazard.
Raleigh Rick Meadows on the par 3 fifth hole of Azalea at Brunswick Plantation. After that shot, he may tip a few after the round, but like any smart golfer, he won't be driving with a few pops in him. This part of North Carolina has its share of traffic stops, and since there are plenty of good spots to toast a good round of golf, you need to be cautious and lay up safely. First, don't drink and drive, but if you do, there are some solutions so you don't find some legal hazard. In South Carolina, you can click an Uber, but in this part of southeastern North Carolina, you cannot get Uber, so you call this guy, Bob Kogler of Kogler's Car Service. He can pick you up from Myrtle Beach to Wilmington, North Carolina.
A lot of times with the new stricter DWI laws, people have decided not to take a chance with drunk driving, which is not good to begin with, and they hire me. I get them to where they have to go, and I get them home safely.
And it's been good for your business.
Oh, it's been great for my business. It's expanded my business quite a bit. I'm getting it here in the plantation where I live, Brunswick Plantation, Ocean Isle, Holden Beach, Myrtle Beach, North Myrtle Beach. So it is expanding over time.
Okay, and you'll do, let's say a group of people that just want to go and kind of do a drunk run and hit a couple of different restaurants, a couple of different bars. You'll do that, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Another safeguard is relayed. It will alert you to traffic checkpoints in your area. use this exclusive number for our viewers. It's 832-810-FREE. You can call or text. Then you enter your 5-digit zip code that you're in. You will then get alerts texted to you for traffic checkpoints in that zip code. Again, make sure not to drink and drive, but this is a tool to remind you to stay put before you get into that car. After all, you don't want your golf trip to go out of bounds.
Now we have one more place to go. It's West Palm Beach, Florida, but it might look a lot more like southern France.
Actually, it looks like Havana in the 1950s, but we're still in the U.S.
Pistache in West Palm Beach is an elegant taste of France right on the ocean.
It is classic Parisian with a Mediterranean twist, and the pricing is very moderate.
Good wine list too. This was a nice glass of Pouilly Foussé from Domaine des Rochers.
First, we had seared tuna crudo.
And this was really fresh and delicious. It's avocados, charred scallions, confit peppers, opal basil, lemon aioli, and fingerling chips. Very, very good.
It was delicious. And wow, what a presentation.
Oh, it was just stunning. They do everything beautifully here. And the mastermind behind the food and the presentations is Chef Isaac Cerny.
And look at this. The next one is Mediterranean heirloom tomato salad.
Again, really beautiful. And this was made with goat's milk feta, cucumber, red onion, mint, toasted pita, and lemon oregano vinaigrette. So delicious. And again, everything was so fresh.
And it's just another reason why the rich flock here to warm up in the winter.
Oh, you can see why, and just soak in some of these amazing, delicious flavors that we're seeing here.
And as expected, great French bread.
Oh, absolutely. And then we went right into this charcuterie platter with garlic sausage, homemade country pate, prosciutto di Parma, and cornichons. This was fabulous. And we had all of these great garnishes of relish and mustards to go along with it. This went fabulously with that French bread.
Now, we didn't have any entrees. I mean, this is the type of restaurant I could feast just on the small dishes.
Oh, absolutely. Just grab that perfect French cuisine with the Mediterranean twist and you're good to go.
Of course, having a great wine list doesn't hurt either.
No, and they really do at Pistache. This was a Bordeaux blend that we had from Chateau de Lau. It was a blend of Cab, Merlot, and Cabernet Franc. Very popular. And here's that great Pouilly Foussé again with the Bordeaux from the Domaine des Rochers. That actually means rocks and limestone, which is the place where they grow the Chardonnay grapes for that great Pouilly Foussé.
Pistache is located in downtown West Palm Beach on Clemetta Street. It's a great area to walk and to enjoy the water as well.
It's a little bit of Paris in West Palm Beach.
West Palm Beach is another great place to visit. Great place for food and foodies and undercover jet-setters.
A great place to be in the winter as well. We want to thank the folks here at Mon Ami Gabi at the Paris Hotel Casino in Las Vegas because it looks and feels like France too. So you can find a lot of places that actually replicate great French atmosphere and great French food.
Without spending $1 million and going to France.
It's true. Yeah.
Which we'll show you how not to do that on another show.
We will. Cheers.